Hey there, I am Stroke Man. Sorry for the somewhat long intro, but I had recorded that back when I got the card in the beginning of June, and I just never uploaded in any way at all, so there that is. And also, sorry for the somewhat extreme title name, but recently in one of the videos that I had made showing Metro Last Light using the 1080 in Linux, somebody asked me how I felt it compared with the card compared in Windows and Linux, and it inspired me to make this big comparison video. So let's just get into it. I first started off by using Unigine Valley, and the settings that I used for Unigine Valley was the ultra setting at full screen with 8x Antialiasing. And here are the results that I got for Windows using DirectX 11, and I ran each of these tests 3 times, and the average FPS for the DirectX 11 one was 30.3 FPS, and the average score was 1266. I decided to also test the OpenGL renderer on Windows, and here are the scores for OpenGL using Windows. And between the 3 runs that I did, the average FPS was 27, and the average score was 1130. And now finally, the 3 tests that I did on Linux, here is the average FPS was 26.4, and the average score was 1103.7. This is all fine using these synthetic benchmarks, but what about in gameplay? Oh, I had almost forgotten to mention that all the tests for Unigine Valley, Vsync was off. But onto the gameplay, I recorded both in Windows and Linux using OBS because it's available for both of them. And I wanted to make these comparisons as consistent as possible. So each game I have the settings exactly at the same, and the recording settings for OBS in both Linux and Windows is also the same. So everything is kept constant, just the different games. The only thing is, I've noticed in some of the games recording on Linux using OBS, and by the way, OBS is not my screen capture of choice for Linux. I would much rather use Simple Screen Recorder, but it's like I would be playing the games and recording, and what I was seeing was perfectly fine, but the video output files were just totally laggy and look awful and terrible. So, but the FPS counter was still accurate. So, just on the Linux side of things, when you see it, if it looks like crap, just disregard it, because the only thing we're really worried about is the FPS counter, which was accurate throughout. So the 2 main games that I test that I noticed this in is Dead Island Riptide and Dying Light, and some more, but you'll see. So I'll just run them all now and talk about it later. So there you have it. Comparing Linux and Windows at gaming at 4K. Honestly, I'm not surprised with the results. Mainly because, I mean, Windows has just been known to perform better as far as gaming goes, and it's a new card. I'm sure that Nvidia is probably focusing on Windows, and then after the fact they'll probably start updating the driver or whatnot for Linux. But I mean, it wasn't horrible, except for a few of them. For a few, it was like murder. But for some other ones, it wasn't that bad. Like, I don't think Last Light, Bioshock, or Dirt, I thought they were pretty close. Especially Dirt. But, and I know earlier I was saying something about synthetic benchmarks, and how for 2 of these videos I did do like the in-game benchmark. I did the one for Mordor and the one for Dirt. But I mean, I threw Mordor in there as a joke, mainly because the graphics on Linux are broken right now. And I really wish Feral, or whoever does this, I'm pretty sure it's Feral Interactive, I really wish they would fix it, because it's a really good game. And it really sucks that the graphics for like one of the best cards out there is screwed. But I mean, other than that, if you're interested in seeing what the settings for each game was, I have all of them in the description below. And if you're also curious to see what the specs of my PC are, and by the way, I'm running a dual boot system that has Windows 10 and Ubuntu 16.04 on it, and I have a PC part picker page. I'll say that 5 times fast. But I have one of those in the description below, showing out what my system is. So, if you like the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Or if you hate me, just also dislike it. But I'm Stroke Man. I make music in these videos, in this one too. If you really like the music, you could check it out. I also have a link in the description for my Reverb Nation page. And I also have an album out that came out last December called Evolved. I don't want to be like a conceited jerk or anything, but I think it's pretty good. I like it. I tried to make music that I like. But again, thanks for watching this, and have a great day.